Mr. Truck here with another exciting truck review. This week we have the 2015 Ram 3500 dually, and we're towing my pickup truck on this load trail tilt trailer. That's our weight. And I'm here with
Kelsey.
And how much power do we have?
We have 385 horsepower to 865 foot-pounds of torque.
Awesome. Well, that ought to be enough to go up and climb the Rockies. So come with us.
What's new for this 2015 Ram is their power folding towing mirrors. Bring them in when you're in tight spaces, parking. Like the truck. Really like the floor mats in this Longhorn edition.
How do you like the floor mats?
I don't know, they've got the fabric and they're all tooled. The barbed wire, they've got the same tooling that's around the dash and the gauge. And it's really pretty. And then the wheel is just a tilt, not a telescoping, which that's nice sometimes. It's got the rubber knobs, that's nice. Heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel. Makes it nice for the summer and the winter.
How do the seats fit you?
I like Dodge's the best. Nice and spacious. Got a running board to help you get in. It's nice. Big doors, big back seat. Fit anybody back here. Makes it nice. Oh, that's nice. They've got the buckles and the saddlebags on the backs of the seats. So the seat flips up pretty easy. There is a light underneath. Makes it real nice.
Oh, cool.
First ones, I think, to have the lights under the seats. And then you got the storage where it makes it flat. That's nice. And then this latch is shut for once. And there's storage underneath. Some extra space. And then the storage for your fifth wheel ball. Since you can't leave it in there and it's all greasy, you gotta have a bag for it. And there's a nice little container here. It's deep. Everything fits. It's nice. This 2015 Ram, they put a step, but it only opens from the right side. But it's a nice step. Tailgate. Doesn't open. Gotta unlock it. It's all on your fob, which is nice. It's light, easy. Don't have the biggest handhold, but the step's good. Like the step. They did put the camera back up here.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Let me zoom in on that camera. So that's a camera for your gooseneck. Cool.
So we got the gooseneck camera up here.
And what we're using for weight for today's run up the hill with the Ram 3500 is my Ford F-250. Now this truck and trailer together weigh 11,210 pounds. So that's not a big weight for a dually diesel like this, but Kelsey doesn't have a CDL, so we're trying to stay legal. So we're under the 26,000 gross combined. We're a little over 19,000 gross combined. But this is our new test trailer, our load trail. It's a tilt trailer, and it's 22 feet long, and we've got all the toolboxes and the rock guards so we can keep the truck looking pretty. And it's a low profile, so we're not going to be swinging around on the road. So I like it. It's rated, this actually tows 14,000 pounds, and the truck weighs a little over 7, so we can put a diesel on here next time, hopefully. But we got it all strapped down with the wheel straps, and I got an extra chain on the back, and it's towing good. Kelsey, show us where the gooseneck camera comes on your big screen here.
I think it's under controls. Mirror dimmer cargo camera.
Oh, cool. Wow, that is awesome.
You can see everything.
So you hook up your gooseneck without having to guess. I like that camera.
And to get out, you just tap on it. Oh, yep.
Oh, cool. So then what other controls we have here?
So you got your traction control, your tow haul, and your exhaust brake. That's really cool because you can either do the full exhaust brake.
Full exhaust brake, yeah.
Or you can do the automatic exhaust brake.
And it turns green down there, doesn't it? And that's pretty cool. The automatic one will let you ramp up a little slower, and then it'll go to full brake if you really need it. And then you got the tow haul mode that'll help us with grade shifting. So we got all that. You like the way the layout is here? They got the big
It's
knobs,
nice.
the rubber coated ones.
Rubber coated knobs. They move nicely. There's buttons in them too. Yes, there is buttons in them too. Trailer brakes where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's
You got
nice.
four-wheel drive knob, and this has the push button start. I love it. They were the first ones in a truck to have it. I love it. You can just walk around with your key fob in your pocket and unlock your doors and everything. Never have to pull that key out. I love it. I love it. I love it.
All the
It's
storage.
nice. And then this center console is a two-tier. The first one, and it has 12 volts and all that fun stuff, USB.
SD card.
And then you've got a bigger one below that, which I like.
Plenty of storage in
Awesome.
here.
So there's a good office space.
Do you have a storage compartment on the side of your seat too?
Yeah, I do. Yep, and you got the door full of shelves, and you got this big double door.
Yep.
Yep.
Double glove box. That's nice.
Awesome. Wait till the light comes in there so you can actually see it.
Like the under the seats.
Yeah, look at that.
Natural outlet.
110 goes up to what, 150 watt? I think that's what it said on it.
Yep, 150 watts.
Cool. Let's go boogie down the road.
Let's go.
On this one, I think it's because it has that gooseneck camera. Your bumper pull camera is in the mirror, which makes it really small. And people with great vision probably can see that. I have a hard time seeing the ball or the coupler in the mirror camera. So I've got to find out if that can be switched down to the center console.
Or it's that big screen.
Yeah, because I know it's there if you don't have the gooseneck camera. Guess we'll find out, because that's I don't like the small screen for the camera, but I do like the big screen. See, like that's a big screen. I can actually see the ball, the gooseneck ball. I can see all that. Yeah. No, I'm always complaining, Kelsey, but these holes, and you can put your fingers in there to show you how small they are. You got small hands. My finger, I get 2 fingers in that hole. Your inside, the dual valve stem is inside there. Way inside. It does have a push-through valve, which I like, but it's plastic, so it moves around when you're trying to put a gauge on it. But you should always put the inside one across to another hole, like up there. But no, they put them in the same hole, so you got very low access to get in there. And I have a hard time doing that. I like the bigger holes where I can stick my whole hand in there if I've got to work on it. But anyway, that's what we have. This large screen, I think it's an 8-inch. And then you go into settings, and you have all these controls. Now I've got it, I was playing with the brake controller. So you hit the trailer brake button, and you've got 4 trailers you can set up. And the current one, I have it set, it says heavy electric, which is where I set it. Now your options are light electric, heavy electric, light electric over hydraulic, and heavy electric over hydraulic. So if you got hydraulic disc brakes, or even big drums, you can go with the electric over hydraulic, which is very good on these bigger trailers. That's a very, very good system to have. But you can pick which one you want, and you can label your trailers. But you do want to set this up for what trailer you're pulling, because it does make a difference in how it's scheduled into your brake controller. The brake controller is actually in a very good location right there where Ford used to put them, right below the radio controls on the right side, the best place to put it. And you got your manual control. and it shows up in your center stack. That's a 3.5 gain, and I can change it from the manual control up or down. But it's set at 3.5. That means you're going to get like 35% if you pull this lever. Now, if we set this up to say 6, let's see, that's 7, and that shows in the screen as a 7 gain. Which that's if you hit that manual control, like the control a trailer in the mountains or in a swag situation or ice, you hit that and you don't want to hit your foot brakes, you're going to get 70% of your brakes. You got to go set it up to a 10 to get 100% by pulling the manual control. Now on exhaust brake, this is the only one in the industry that has like a 2-step exhaust brake. Push it once and that'll show you in the dash that it's a full exhaust brake. That's what that yellow symbol shows right by the park. If I can get this thing zoomed in on and halfway focused. Yeah, that's yellow. Now if you tap that exhaust brake button again, still stays yellow down there, and up here it turns green by the park symbol there. And that is the automatic brake, which is good for you know, normal elevations up to probably about 6%. You get in the high mountains, it's nice to go full exhaust brake, but this is like a ramping kind of an exhaust brake. It goes on slower, doesn't jerk you, which is better for like livestock you might be hauling in a trailer. And it's an automatic exhaust brake, controls really well, you know, in lower elevations, and from my experience up to about a 6% grade, say, you know, up there at 8,000–9,000 feet. So you got 2 options there, and it's nice to play with. And I just leave my exhaust brake on when I've got a trailer on there, so whenever I let off the gas, it naturally starts, you know, building up back pressure and slowing me down. So it all depends on what kind of grade you're on. You may not want to do that if it slows you down too much and you got to keep speeding up, because that won't save you gas at all if you got to keep accelerating after you slow down. So it depends on how you're driving, what you're pulling, whether or not you want to leave that on all the time when you're pulling. But I do. That's how I roll. You can tell it's a Cummins. You can tell it's a diesel. It does have that diesel rumble.
It's got the rumble and it's pretty.
Yeah. I do like these formats too, with the barbed wire molds in it. I like the wood dash inside here is awesome too.
Yeah, it's actual wood too.
Yeah.
That's nice. The tooling on the glove box and around my gauges is really nice. It's pretty.
Yeah, it's kind of like etching. Like I even have some of that on my big orange load trail gooseneck, which is done freestyle. This is awesome.
It's got the wood on the steering wheel. Is that part heated too, do you know?
I don't know for sure, but I do know it's a heated steering wheel, but it heats up pretty quick. It heats up pretty fast.
It's heated.
Wow, the top part's heated too?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. You like that big steering wheel?
It's nice.
To me, it's a little big for all day driving, but I like the normal part of it. Is the right size. Yeah, that's the right size. Yeah. And I'm sure that this wood on this dash is real wood.
It is.
They told us a story about it once, how it came out of England out of some old barn or some railroad ties or barn frame. I can't remember the story, but that does look. Gives you the whole Western theme. The etching, the saddlebags on the back of the seats, the whole theme here just makes you feel like you're from the West. I really like the interior. It's probably one of the best interiors of any of the trucks.
It's pretty. Really
Yeah.
pretty Dodge right there.
Yep. Oh, look at that. That's an old power wagon.
Really pretty Dodge right there.
Wow, I need that for my trailer.
Look good, man, fold.
Yeah. So is it a comfortable ride?
It's a very comfortable ride. It's fitting.
Yeah, the
The seats don't cup you as much, but they're still nice.
Yeah, they're not quite the bolsters like the GM has.
They're nice.
Yeah. And visibility is good over the hood. These giant fenders, I don't know that you got a whole lot of visibility over the fenders, but this does have a wide reach on the mirrors. It sticks out further than any of the other brands. A little smaller glass than a Ford, but it sticks out further, and it has to with those kind of giant fender flares. I mean, it all looks good back there. It's very good design. Just the rear visibility is not as good as what I would like.
It's hauling this nicely.
Yeah, it's a very good ride. I mean, this is still Hotchkiss leaf springs in the rear. There's some kind of an optional airbag suspension. It's not really an airbag suspension, it's just a helper spring. And there are very few of those out there yet.
2016 we'll be seeing more?
I don't know. They came out in 14. We hardly could find any then, and I've driven some of them, but it's just a helper spring. It's not like like on a 2500. It's an actual air suspension with a 5-link arm. You get the coil over the air, and I really like those. And the half tons are nice, and they're great empty with a trailer. I don't think they're a very good ride. They're nothing special, but they are when they're empty. But the 2500, I like it with that air suspension. I like its ride, empty and loaded. But this truck's calmed down quite a bit. 2010, they went to hydraulic cab mounts, and that made a big difference in how this dually rode. Before that, it used to bounce all over the place, empty. Of course, it loaded, it tames it way down. It's an easy riding truck.
Nice driving.
It's basically quiet, except for that Cummins. They've actually, I'm sure that's part of their design. They want you to know that you're in the big diesel. So you have kind of that big boy feel, like a big semi does.
Yeah, but it's not too loud where I can't talk to somebody.
Right.
Or you guys can't hear us.
No, that's true. It's just that's the way Ram decided to go with it. You look at the Ford and GM; they've gotten so quiet. You don't know if it's a gas engine or what it is you're driving in. You'll always know that you're in a Cummins diesel in this Ram. Of course, and you're a Ram fan.
I am a Ram fan.
Make sure all the microphones are on so everybody gets that. I guess I should do the seatbelt thing. I'm getting too into cameras, not enough in the safety here.
I'm really surprised that didn't just ding at you.
I know. I guess it likes me.
That's really abnormal for any new vehicle to tell.
Full exhaust brake. That's great. That's automatic. You can feel it pull in, and whenever you slow down, you'll feel it.
You feel it.
Is the tow mode on?
No, it is not.
For some reason, that was off for a minute there. In the tow mode, that helps you also, grade shifting, and when you brake, grade shifting, and just going downhill, grade shifting. Hear the thunder. Yeah, go ahead and floor it. Hear the thunder. It's a 6-cylinder, so this actually does really well. The RPMs kick in like around 16, 1700 RPM, lower than anybody else, which I like. I always like that bottom end torque, so you have power instantly. And I noticed that with Ram, this truck here is rated to tow in a 4-wheel drive Longhorn Laramie, which is the very next to the top. The top's limited, but in this configuration, crew cab 4-wheel drive dually with the 410 rear end, this will tow a little over 29,000, which is very impressive.
That's
nice. I've towed 28,800 last year with the 14 model in the mountains. It did exceptionally well with the fast lane truck folks. We were towing 21,600, and this truck with Cummins, the 6-cylinders don't have as big of RPM range as a V8, but this one does very, very well. But it does the best the bigger the trailer.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because it also keeps you in the top end of the horsepower curve. You're always in a torque band on this, but then once you need the higher RPM to hit the horsepower band, and that's where this truck accelerates the best, moves the best, and that's with the biggest trailers on this. So it's interesting how it works. It likes those 28,000, 29,000 pound trailers.
It's nice.
Yeah, it feels comfortable. And in this exhaust brake, it's auto or full, and I like it. I mean, if you're, say, under a 6% grade and your normal altitude, that automatic does really well controlling you. If you're, like what we do up the Eisenhower Tunnel, and you're 7% grade or in a Vail Pass, and you're 11,000, 10,000 feet, and you're 7% grade, and the full does the best. The full ramping, and it's nice to have the automatic. If you're hauling horses or doing any of that doesn't doesn't do a real fast slow down like the full gives you much more power. So if you don't need that kind of braking power, you have that ability, with the ramp side of it on the automatic exhaust brake. But this is a very comfortable truck. I've got my one small hat on, but the A-pillars is raked quite a bit. You got to kind of dip your head to get in this. And we're not taxing this thing at all with it. I'm pulling 11,200, so this truck doesn't even know it's back there. It's a good road for testing out.
All the suspension.
Yeah, because this is pure washboard. Nothing really rides good through here, but it's interesting to feel the ride. Yeah,
feel all the different tracks. It's nice.
Yeah, it's straight. You get that vibration going, and you get the voice flutter.
Yeah, but it's not, I don't know, it's not super loaded down, and it's not as bumpy as some of the other trucks. So.
Right. If you get preload the springs with a heavy load, it usually helps. Front visibility is very good. The way they've tapered the nose on this, I can see really well out the front.
I can see everything. I don't have to look out.
So I don't know if this is good, pulling a Ford with a Ram.
Well, we'll just tell people we found it on the road dead and we picked it up.
Oh, goodness.
But it's your truck, so it wasn't found on the road, right?
That's right. It hasn't been dead for quite a while. So now when I use the Ford, I gotta go find a Ram to put on the back.
We gotta go find a Chevy, and then we'll pull the Chevy with a Dodge, and the Dodge with a Ford, and it'll all be covered.
That's true. Make
Nobody
everybody
can
happy.
see anything.
Yes, I need to get a John Deere tractor or something put on here. And then we
Nice
don't worry
long
about
trailer.
that. Yeah. We don't worry about truck brands.
Yep. We could always take the emblems off one.
Yeah, there's.
Because nobody would know by the body lines or what they look like, right?
I guess. My truck doesn't have that front Ford badge. It says Mr. Truck on there for some reason.
For some reason.
I don't understand it.
You gotta talk to that Mr. Truck guy then.
I do. I think he came out in the middle of the night and switched badges. And I've been confused ever since. Get some mountain driving in. That's one thing about duals, because you got more tires on the ground. It does help your braking somewhat. And it helps your cornering.
Yeah.
Anytime you get more tire pressure on the ground. Your pivot point's still the same, right above the axle, between the axle and the springs. So that doesn't change a whole lot, but the amount that your tires give and the traction you have, dualies are nice, but they also suck gas.
Yes.
And these Rams have been some of the better fuel mileage diesels out there. I'm really impressed with them on that. But you go to dualies, you can count on dropping, at least 3 miles to the gallon or 2 miles to the gallon. But you got more wind resistance, you got more tire resistance, you got all that rolling resistance. But for the bigger trailers, you can't beat a dually.
So how much does one of these cost?
Good point. Let's see if I have that information. I do, right here. Oh, this is under 70,000. It's only 69,915. You really got to look at these Maronis on Rams, because they'll show 3 different axle ratios. So to figure out the one you actually got, you look for that has a price on it. The one that says $50. It's a 410.
So it's an extra $50 on the base model?
Yeah, the real one, the actual one, comes out with a 342.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 410 is an upgrade.
Yes. Now another thing, one of the vices I have, I really like this truck, but the fuel tank size is only 32 gallon. Where Ford's 38, GM's 36, why is 32? And they did that when it came out with the DEF tank, the little 5-gallon tank, but I don't think that really makes up the difference, because when you really load it, you use a lot of DEF. And this is great, it's got a DEF gauge, you can actually watch it. And the nozzle is back where your fuel nozzle is, which is where it should be. Yeah. So,
not under the hood where it makes a mess?
Right, that's exactly right. So if you get into a fuel island that has the DEF nozzle, you can do it right there all at one spot. That's great to have. But
nice.
I just wish it had a little bigger fuel tank. And this one has a sprayed-in bed liner, which is nice. I think. The new beds are thin enough. No matter whose brand it is, you need bed liner for structural integrity as well as keeping it looking good. So the first thing I always put in a new truck is a sprayed-in bed liner. But this is loaded. The Longhorn Laramie Longhorn. It used to be like the top dog. Now they have a limited, but I tell you, I love this package.
I love the backs of the seats, the buckles.
Yeah. And got this is the black dash with the brown stitching in it.
I like the brown seats. It matches very well.
Yeah. Kind of looks like a King Ranch.
Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah, one comfortable truck. Power sliding window.
That's it?
Yeah, it's got just about everything you could imagine. Yes, if you need to
yell at the dogs, right?
Yell at the dogs. I let them stick their noses in here and get some air. Get some cool air.
That's nice.
They got one of the biggest screens in there too. I really like the navigation screen.
They have a huge screen.
So
You're gonna have to do
17
something
inch
about that fifth wheel, though. That's got to change.
That ball, yeah.
That's got to change.
Yeah, I don't know why. I know they did focus groups. Yeah, they did focus groups.
Put it under that fender.
Yeah, the fender, underneath there, you just twist it, and then you turn the ball over, it goes right back in the hole. Where on Ram and Ford, you got to take the greasy ball out of the hole, push a little button on it or a lever, yeah, and then you got to put the greasy ball in a baggie, then put it in another bag, and then put it in one of your storage compartments. That's way too much stuff, and it's Ford and Ram. I hope they redesign the way they do their balls. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the strength of it. Actually, Ram's got one of the highest capacities in a 3500 at 30,000 pounds on that ball. That is more than Ford or GM. So they're up there, and it matches their capacity. If you're going to tow 30,000 pounds, you've got to have a big enough capacity ball. That's 2 5/16 ball. To go over 30,000 pounds, you really need to go to a 3-inch ball.
Yeah, but you're going to need a CDL for that too.
Well, it's not the size of the ball that counts.
No, for the weight. If you're going to be.
You're right. Well, actually, 26,000. Yeah.
But if you've got a full 30,000 on that ball, which is where that ball rates at, and this truck rates at.
Yeah.
Then don't get caught.
Well, this ball rates at 30,000 at 2 5/16. But yeah, that starts at 26,100, and unless you're really commercial, the DOT law actually goes in the combination truck and trailer at 10,001. The CDL law goes in at 26,001. That's gross combined weight rating. So since 2011, all of your 1-ton dualies from all three brands have jumped from 26 combination to 30,000 and beyond. So starting 2011, you really got to watch it to see if you're come under that CDL ruling. If you're somewhat commercial, the RV guys seem to get by without it longer than anybody. But I've got a CDL, and someday you'll have a CDL.
We'll get there.
And the second row seat is heated. Whoa.
Second row seat's heated?
Yeah, that's what it says.
That's nice.
Yeah, you can make everybody have warm bottoms. This is good. This is underneath the steering wheel and the back side of it. That's your radio controls. Which these guys were the first ones to do that. I think Ford's finally gone to it. Yeah, I think GM, maybe Ford still has them on top. GM put them on the bottom. But Ram did that first, which I really like that, because you get too many buttons on the top. And in radio, you're going to go up or down, whether it's volume or station change. It's not very complicated. You don't have to look at it.
There's buttons, too, for your favorites.
Yeah, that's right. So you can program this puppy in.
Oh, no, one of the buttons changes between the Sirius and the FM and the AM.
Yeah. You lost my station. Now you're in the AM.
Lost your station again.
Oh, my gosh. DEF and diesel. I can all smell those quick.
That DEF doesn't smell very good, though.
No. And none of those little cans you buy the diesel exhaust fluid in, they all leak. I've never seen one yet that doesn't leak when you're trying to pour it in there. There's that grade shifting, which just does well. It doesn't do as well at the high end when you're 70 miles an hour. It takes a lot to get the grade shift, but you get in the bottom end and just bam, 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 it'll just keep shifting through them pretty quickly. Great control.
They kick in quickly too. It's nice.
Yeah.
Barbecue place.
My pickup hasn't fallen off yet.
Not yet. Still in the rearview mirror. So does this thing have like the OnStar or the Bluetooth?
No, they have a whole different Uconnect, I think it's called.
Uconnect?
I don't know. It's not like OnStar's like the only one out there that does that, but there is, I think, an emergency way of getting a hold of somebody.
I see the 911. We're not going to push that button.
Yeah, I'm going to try that button. Just make sure it works.
Go park in the mountains.
Yeah, remote start.
Just want to see if you can find me.
Yeah, we were hiding out in a hole in the wall gang here. But yeah, and this has the Ison 6-speed rated to this foot-pounds of torque, the 865. And Ison, it's I think half of it's owned by Toyota. It's a very good transmission. I think it's very close to the Allison, and it's in a lot of Hino trucks, a lot of the low cab Fords and heavy-duty trucks. So it's a good transmission. Expensive, I think, between the Cummins diesel, and this is high output, their largest horsepower rated one, and that transmission, you're getting up over $11,000. So you got to decide if you can pay for that in fuel savings.
Yeah.
If you're going a lot of miles, the answer is yes. If you're not going very many miles, the answer is no. But still can't beat the power of a diesel, but you got to make economic sense when you're paying 80 cents to $1 more per gallon, and you got more expensive oil changes and fuel filter changes. But nothing pulls a trailer better than a diesel. So you've got to measure all that out. If you need to tow the big trailers, if you tow a lot, if you need to make that decision. But yeah, it just makes you feel powerful sitting in a Cummins diesel.
I need diesel.
Yeah. You're a real trucking girl, aren't you? You just like driving trucks.
Just driving trucks, yes. That was scary.
And you're good at it. People have noticed you back up better than a lot of people do. You can handle a trailer.
Still not the best at backing up, but I'll get there one of these days.
Well, it's just something you got to do every week to really get good at it. Yes, we're 8 feet wide. That's what dualies are. Versus around 6 with a regular pickup, a little over 6. Which is why they're not so good for drive-through windows, which I'm glad they finally went to power folding mirrors. I think GM went to that this year too. Ford had them a few years ago, but now all 3 brands have power folding mirrors. And even a regular pickup, I mean, I have to fold mine in when I go through a bank drive-through, or a lot of places, even Walgreens drive-through. You need to be able to get rid of these big mirrors. And folding them makes a lot of sense.
See, even when you brake, the exhaust brakes in.
Yeah, and if you need it, it'll go to full exhaust brake even when you're in automatic. So it's a nice option to have on here. And it comes standard with the diesel engines.
There's that diesel noise.
Yep, we know it's a Cummins. And it's a deep, throaty bass kind of sound, which is nice. It's not a whiny sound like you get in some of these foreign cars. It's a deep throat noise. I like it.
It's nice.
Yeah, you do get kind of addicted to that sound.
Nope, why didn't it just tell me? Cancel.
Distance.
I hit a button.
Oh, you hit a button.
To make a phone call, press the phone button.
Now you're making a phone call.
Phone button for you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No phone.
It's probably programmed.
Say command. Say
Please try
command.
again.
Cancel.
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 There you go.
Alright.
Yeah, you can switch
At
back.
least
We're
it's
back to
not-
my radio station too. So
Oh.
see it. Just you must push the right button.
I'll tell you right now, this is the best trip I've been down the mountain. Having to use my brakes.
Yeah.
My horses would enjoy it.
Yeah, and this is about the right setup for. We're not really steep roads. We're probably 4 and 5% grades. And exhaust brake is doing all the work for you. So you're not wearing on your brakes. You're not because that's the problem on some of these hills. If you get too big of a grade and you're using your brakes too much, your brakes will burn out on you. You'll actually get the brake fluid hot enough to be boiling out of your reservoir. So this is a much more controllable ride. It makes you feel a lot safer coming down the hill.
It's nice.
That's all it is. Yeah.
You figure the 7,000 that we've got on for the trailer. It's about my horse.
Well, we were 12,000.
trailer.
We're almost 12 or 11,260 pounds.
Yeah, but just the truck is about the trailer, the horse trailer, and a horse.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So